Hi, I'm Matt from HockeyReviews.ca, and this is the Brian Optik 2 chest protector. So I'm going to do something a little different. Normally I go over features then talk about it. I'm going to go the other way around because I feel like how I feel about it kind of leads to those features, so I kind of want to relate those two. I will have pictures up here of me wearing the pants with both chests. There will be a separate video on the pants, so look out for that in the future. So let's jump into this. My chest history has been a pretty spotty one. I went from an iTech something to a co-host 700 that Goalie Monkey had was a Goalie Monkey special thing. And then I was sick of getting hurt in that, so I went to this brown. Haven't looked back. Since the brown, I tried a 2X Pro because it impressed me in the store. Didn't like it, wasn't protective enough. Quite mobile, pretty light, not protective enough. And Brian's came out with the Optik 2. And from looking at it, I was really impressed by it, and so I wanted to do a video on it. And same with the pants to kind of show them off. I probably, to be straight up, I probably would have bought one of these and ordered one of these, but I ordered a Kineski one a few months before, actually I think even weeks before I could have actually ordered the Bryant, just because I saw the Kineski in person, loved it, and so went that route. So I'm waiting on that. With that said, here's this chest. Obviously, I haven't worn it in the game. This isn't my chest. I borrowed it from a store since the whole shutdown thing happened with the human thing. I got a chance to grab these and kind of wear them around the house just to try them on, see how they are, and to make some content on them. So here we are for that. Again, brown is something I'm like a huge fan of. It's very heavy, but super protective. I can move pretty well in it considering. This one is way lighter. We'll start off the bat. But there are like the arms definitely feel bulkier overall compared to the brown. I feel like this area right here is a bit bulkier, and up here is definitely bulkier compared to what the brown is. But it's kind of a different idea of how to do protection, where this one's, as you can see, layered like on the floaters, when this one is a plate like this. There's a ton of customization options on this chest in terms of straps and like even this pillow thing. So we'll talk about that. So I always tuck my chest in my pants. With this, I could tuck it fine in my CCM Pro Return pants. I could not do it in the Optik 2 that well. I'll overlay some video pictures over here when I'm talking about that. I like all that padding to kind of be in place and nice and snug around me, so I know like where everything is on my body. I know a lot of people like to wear their chest really loose and untuck. I'm not that guy. I think this might work better for you if you do like it untucked. One of the things I don't like is this pillow, which is actually right here. So you should be able to see a difference with how form-fitting this one is compared to how this one flares out and kind of sticks out there. I took this out because I feel like I can't get the sides to hug my body the way I want. It feels like they're coming off and sliding outwards like this. Hopefully that kind of shows how this one's way further out than that one. And that's me pushing like the same amount. Maybe I'm fat, and I am, but maybe that's pushing the stomach piece out, like this piece out, but I am not a fan of this at all. When I took it out, it fit better in my Pro Return pants, and I would definitely want to do that. With that said, I don't feel that this side piece is thick enough for padding alone. I have a feeling this is there to do, like, to kind of push it away from your body, and to give you some padding there too, because this to me feels a little thin. I'll show that in another view, where my brown is way thicker than that. I get hit a lot in the sides. I do reverse VH a lot. It's really important to me because that's one of my main moves, and I feel like that would be a sore spot. It's one of the reasons I got rid of the Coho and went with brown, and a very specific reason why I kind of beefed up this part. I didn't beef it up, but I chose the more padded version of the brown. So I'm a little bit worried on that for this chest. For me, if I were to order this, I would tell them to get rid of this and to thicken the blocks on the side here. They definitely feel thinner than what's on the front, so I would definitely ask them to put the front ones on the side, so I would get a little bit more protection, but the wrap would be tighter on my body. Besides that, wearing it, the one thing that I'm really big about is like shoulder padding, basically, which is like kind of up around here, because again, I reverse VH a lot, and I'm a big goalie, so I know people shoot top like corner all the time, but I find that I get a lot of people try to pin, like really go up there high because I'm so big, that generally you have to get it really, really like right next to my head. So I do take pucks off the shoulders a lot. And so like being in the reverse VH against the post, I always look to see how much of my shoulder is exposed. This one is pretty good. You see a lot of white there, which is the reason why I'm wearing this base layer. But when I put myself up against the like a wall, which would simulate the post, there's not a lot of spot there, and I wouldn't really worry about getting hit there. It's pretty equivalent to my brown, and I've had maybe 2 or 3 little dings in 5 years with that, so I'm not worried about that at all here. So I think it was a good job in that sense. The thing about the Optik 2 that is a big difference in the 1, I wish I had a 1 to show off. One, the floaters, like honestly, the upper part of this looks totally different. And same with the arms, because it's a big change. The 1 was kind of their first NHL spec, I'm pretty sure. And then this was kind of the like evolution of it and kind of figuring things out. The 1 had these plates, which was what kind of like Warrior went to plastic plates. Bauer did their plates. And then, so Brian's did a plate similar design, but it kind of floated on top. I actually really liked that plate design compared to the other companies. I heard a lot of issues with protection on those plates. I didn't wear it myself, so I can't really comment on that. But the issue for me, and the reason I didn't buy an Optik 1, because it was around the time that I was looking at a chest, I just ended up not going with it because I chicken wing a lot. So hopefully this is on camera. I go like this a lot. So if a puck's up high at the shoulders, I'll go like this. And when I did that, you could see my arm, like the top of my arm, doing that. It was exposed. Here you can see it's not exposed. This part is now covering really well, and it even has like a bit of padding back here too, which is really nice. When I did that with the old one, it was exposed, and I saw that and I was like, nope, that's not for me. I'll wait for a different one. And well, here is the different one. So huge props for them there. Another thing that I really like is this flap, how it is pretty disconnected from the sides. It does allow it to kind of fold over the front. So if you are wearing pants and you can untuck the sides, untuck the front a bit, it's a decent design there. So last thing to test is how gloves kind of interfere with the chest itself. Oh, and I should mention, so this chest is a large. I generally wear larges. The Bauer one I had was an XL, and I had to take the length parts out, and the arms were basically adjusted to be as small as they went, because I really probably should have gone with a large. So also the arms on these adjust up and down. This is kind of neutral, they're pretty actually low. And there's the coverage. I could probably put the arms up a little higher. Elbow doesn't feel like it's quite in like the slot. It feels like it could be a little bit up here more. So I could adjust that or pull it up a little bit more, but it feels pretty good. Gloves don't have a ton of interference at all. Everything moves pretty good. I wouldn't really be concerned about that. Thing I really do like about these is how it does have that padding underneath the arms. Hopefully you can see that. So in case you go for top a puck, you miss it, hits down there. My Brown has it too. Love that feature. Most companies are doing that now. Huge fan of it. So pretty decent design. Arms are pretty mobile. Like when I'm wearing it around, it feels way lighter than that. And it's pretty, like, mobility is really good in terms of this and everything. The arms aren't broken in yet for this. I'm sure these will loosen up because that does feel a bit stiffer, but that's just for these blocks. All right, just so I can get this one out of the way and we can look at this one by itself. This is a pro, it's like it was called their Russian spec, and it was based on the design for Sergei Bobrovsky. Everything is NHL like proof, basically spec proof. So these are crazy thick plastic inserts. These ones are obviously much softer. You can bend these. You cannot bend these at all, or it's like super minimal. Like depth wise, to be honest, they don't feel that different. It's just this has a harder plate on the outside. Body pieces, this one's definitely more dense, but again, different type of spec, and I'm sure you can get this beefed up if you wanted to as well. But this is the retail unit, and there's a reason for that. But here's kind of the arm plating I kind of told about or mentioned earlier. So instead of, like, just to cover that gap and protection there, there's a little plate that goes over top. The idea here is the arm, you have these plates, right? So it's a different idea to solve the same thing, like the same thing. This one's connected to the arm. This one is connected more or less to the chest. As you can see, it comes off the side, where this one's like all the way on. Yes, this is connected to the arm, but I'm saying it comes out of here, where this one moves totally with the arm piece itself. But again, different ideas to cut, like to solve a problem. And the side piece is the part that's like really important to me. So this is, in all honesty, like this is a soft foam, and then you got your thicker foams right here. Like you have really thick foams right underneath there, and then you have that cover to cover the buckles. This one is much thinner overall from that. Like it's not even close. Again, custom spec model, retail model. This would be overkill for a lot of retail markets, and it's why it's not really the main retail option. I know people would put this on and would just take it off right away because they couldn't move on it, or it was too heavy. I'm going for protection. I play against guys who can shoot. I have kids all the time telling me, oh, I play against college people, and great. I play against men who can shoot, who did play NCAA and are older now and are stronger now. So I don't, like, great, whatever your retail one might be good enough. When I wear a bunch of retail ones, I have them bruised all over, and I don't want that the next day. I play like 5 times a week, and I'm not like looking to be bruised in the next game as well. I'm not looking to be in pain while I'm at work the next day. So I go for stuff that's overkill compared to what other people might need or want. So that's where I'm coming from here. I want to point that out. So we'll get rid of that. Okay, so here is that pillow piece I mentioned, how you put it on. You have Velcro right here. Line this out. Have Velcro right here, and you put it on like that, and there's your extra padding and everything there. It's all good. The nice thing about this, and I mentioned that padding right under here, very adjustable elbows all over. It's like a nice wide elbow cup too, so hopefully that comes off. It's not just like a tiny little elbow cup that floats. It's a nice wide elbow cup. Elbow felt really secure in there. I'm a big fan of that kind of design. I don't like the smaller ones where you can, or like the flattened ones more. Actually, I don't like the brown one that much because I feel like my elbow can kind of move on it, where this one, it really stays cupped in there, so it's really nice. I guess we'll look at the back plate really quick. Straps are just super simple Velcro with adjustability back here. Great design, so you don't really have to tug it. Tighten that, loosen it, and you're done. That's how it works. Super simple, good design there. Very large back plate, so it does cover, like, sit nice and flat with a ton of adjustability. I kind of mentioned this earlier. You can really dial in how you want this to fit. In terms of floaters, I can move that here. So floaters can go higher or lower, obviously, and as well as this, so you can lower it or higher it or put it higher up. So you can drop it on your neck and stuff. I looked at a review of the Hockey Shop to try to find pictures of the original Optik One chest, and the person was wearing it like way down here. I'm not a fan of that. I wear everything tight and snug. Again, personal preference, but that's like, that would help you adjust that if you wanted to. I love the use of Primo, just the thing. I think this thing looks awesome. But this mesh here is kind of what you saw on the blocker and catcher, specifically on the little details right here and on the back here. I was really curious what that was, and then I got it and I was like, oh, that makes sense. What is next on this? I guess on the inside, we have, let's loosen this off, get rid of this a bit. We have this removable chest piece. So you have kind of your built-in neck guard, not total built-in neck guard like the brown, but it's pretty, it sits up there, and you can adjust it up or down, or like leave it loose. Nice, they're hex air material in here for padding. I'm a fan of this design. And you can just, again, Velcro back in, sit it exactly where you want it, and you're good. I'm a fan of that. I always like adjustability and custom options like that. And I think finally, we'll show off the pretty impressive arms. So they're Velcroed in. Now, my one complaint about these arms is that you can hear them all the time. What I mean by that is, when I move my arms around and try to, like when I was trying to put pants on and stuff like that, basically these arms would feel like they were coming undone. Now they weren't, they were sitting fine, but that's just how they felt. They are pretty adjustable, right? So you could wear them much lower, or you could really crush it up in there so you have really short arms. So someone messaged me asking what size this was and for the chest length, and I said they would probably need a extra large body, large arms. You might be able to get away with this because you can really shorten down the like how big the arm you're actually using is. So you can really shorten that down and adjust that, so it's pretty decent. I am a fan of this style more than the lace-in because I find it gives you a wider range of customization in terms of like length. With the lace in, it's either one or the other. And like for some like Vons, I think that's it. There is no lace, it's just sewn in. The brown is just sewn in, but I gave them my measurements and they built it based on my measurements. So it shouldn't really need to be adjusted in that sense. This is a great idea. I honestly still think Bauer's version is a little bit better because it has that string that can adjust up and down. So as I find myself bleeding. So I think the Bauer version is a little bit better in that because it does adjust pretty easy with a string. And it kind of like, I think the string would hold on and replace more easily replaceable than the Velcro is. But the Velcro is a great, pretty good design. And the Velcro is a pretty good design in terms of actually putting the arms there and making it adjustable. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with this chest. If I were to order one of these, and again, I would have ordered one of these if I didn't already order a Kineski. I would try to get a bit beefier for me because I like stuff more protective than not. For retail, this is probably, in my opinion, the best option there is out there right now. It's impressive all around, and like, yeah, like I'm pretty impressed by it. It is a new slimmer spec. This is not NHL spec. There are some differences on it. One, NHL can't have adjustability up here, and the floater I think is a bit smaller. I'm not sure if the arms are any different or not, but so it's closer to NHL spec, but it's not exact. You'll see more companies coming closer and closer to that. Bauer's obviously is closer to that too. But right now, if I were to recommend a chest on the retail market, this is the one I would go to over the Vaughn, over Bauer, CCM. I haven't seen the Warrior G5 yet, so hopefully I get to take a look at that when it comes out. But besides that, pretty impressed with it. Definitely recommend it to people looking for that retail chest. If you're personally, I would just get a little bit more beef on some things and remove those pillows. Probably easy things for them to do. But yeah, so pretty impressed. I think Brian did a really good job on this. Huge upgrade over the Optik one. My other kind of complaint about this chest is the being able to tuck it in, just because I found it kind of push out a bit. So that's why I would change that, and I'll kind of do the overlays of how the chest looks compared to mine when tucked in and outside of the tuck for the different pairs of pants, just to give you an idea. That's pretty much it for this video. Actually, you know what? Those are going to Instagram. All those pictures are going to Instagram, so you have to go there to see, because they're kind of, I don't like overlaying them that much. So check out the link in the description for Instagram to see those. And that will give you an idea how this tucks versus untucks in the Optik 2 and in my CCM Pro Return pants. I think that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like this video, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Helps me get gear like this so I can do reviews on and make content as well. If you ever do buy a piece of gear because of one of my videos, please reach out to the manufacturer, let them know. Helps me get on their radar, and so it helps them know that people are actually watching and actually taking my feedback. With that said, make sure you check back here because I will be having a pant review, or not review, sorry, pant like overview type thing like this of the Optik 2, and I'll compare it against Pro Stock pants. And I might have a different chest protector coming soon, and it's not the Kineski. So a little tease there. So thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.